Hey, what's up, guys? Alex here at the northeast corner of Woodbine Avenue and Danforth Avenue on the borders of East York and Old Toronto. Today is Thursday, February 26th, 2026, and which is also the 60th anniversary of the original Bloor-Danforth subway, which opened on this day in 1966. So I thought to celebrate the 60th anniversary, let's just go for a ride all the way from here at Woodbine Station to Keele Station. And this should take about 20 minutes or so. It's a nice day here in the city. Partly sunny and cloudy, around minus 2 degrees Celsius. And there's the history of the original Bloor-Danforth subway goes way back, from construction, planning, and whether building a subway along here was to be more favored than building one on Queen Street itself. I'll leave a link to an article courtesy of the Transit Toronto blog, which goes way more into detail about this. So yeah, I'll leave a link to that in the description below so you can read more. But I just wanted to showcase the original section of Line 2, which opened in 1966. So we are here. This was the eastern terminus until Line 2 was extended to Warden Station in 1968. So again, the original section opened up between here and all the way at Keele Station. And just like the Warden extension, it was also extended to Islington Station that same year in 1968. Whoa, almost stumbled there. And many of the Line 2 stations use this very intriguing design. Yeah, this utilitarian concept of having like a base color for the walls and then a darker trim. And while some of the stations may not look like anything special, I think this station, in my opinion, really stands out because green is a very, very fitting color. I actually did a video exploring this station 20 minutes ago. And I did miss a train, so we gotta wait 5 minutes. But at least I'll show you a little bit more of the station. So this was the temporary terminus of the line. Instead of using a center platform, they used the side platforms because construction was already well underway of the extension to Warden Station. But Line 2 continues to serve its purpose. Again, after the respective extensions to Warden and Islington in 1968, both ends of the line were extended westwards to Kipling and eastwards to Kennedy in 1980, and it has remained that way since. And of course, they're working on the Line 2 eastern extension into Scarborough Centre. And yeah, so just your little bit of history of Line 2. Again, I'll leave a link to the Transit Toronto article in the description below. So we're going to embark on this hopefully quick journey all the way to Keele Station. Again, it should take about 20 or so minutes. And if I think of anything interesting, I'll probably say it myself. All right, peace out.
A few moments later.
This is a relief point for subway operators. So almost every time I'm passing through here, they do these crew changes. Let's see if they'll do one right now. Nope. So we move on. So again, I want you guys to notice the patterns of the tiles and colors, which again, of course, were used in the 1960s when the subway was built.
The next station is Dawnland.
So here you're gonna see the tracks that split over to the Greenwood yard. So you're gonna see it here right now. Of course, that's the maintenance facility for the Line 2 subway trains, which are of course the current T1 trains that have been with us for 30 years. And stick around for probably an extra 10 years or so, or less.
Arriving at Dawnland Station.
Got to mention, Coxwell has a similar appearance to Bathurst Station, and Greenwood with Royal York, and then this station with Ossington.
The next station is Keele Station.
And this station was renovated in 2013. Used to have a creamy white tiles and then a green strip above it, or it's rather a trim. And the station serves the popular Greektown district, and will be an interchange station with the Ontario Light Metro line.
The next station is Chester Station.
And Chester is one of the least used subway stations. Yeah, so it may sound like that, you know, they repeated the same sort of design and colors for most of the Line 2 stations. Again, I think Not Smooth Steve does a better explanation of the designs, and I think Transit Toronto has another article dedicated to that. Again, this all looks cool. I mean, again, very 1960s here, but a lot of the stations have really shown their age, and that's why a few of them, Pape and Dufferin especially, were renovated. Oh yeah, and this station has a similar feel to Runnymede Station, which was built in 1968. And it looks like we're going to be going slow here.
The next station is Broadview Station.
So here's a storage track right in the center.
Arriving at Broadview Station.
Shares similarity with Victoria Park and High Park stations because again they use the same exact colors here. But who really gives a shit about black and white? Alright, so now we're going to be going over one of my favorite parts of Line 2, the Bloor Viaduct. So we'll be going partially outdoors for at least 30 seconds. Give you guys a good view of the city here as we make our way into downtown.
The next station is Castle Frank Station.
All right, here we go. Stupid reflection, but I don't think you guys can see it, but there's the CN Tower. Obviously a better view if I was on the other side here, but I'm sure you guys have seen this view many times. So what happened was that over a century ago, this viaduct was being built, and they actually added a lower deck just in case they wanted to build a subway through here. And if this deck wasn't built, this subway would have not been built. It was like it was in the 1910s this viaduct was constructed. It wasn't until 50 years later that this same subway would be beneath right at the deck. And now we're in the downtown core. So as we make our way out of here, we're going to be going over another bridge. This time it's enclosed. This bridge goes over the Rosedale Valley. And this bridge is enclosed because residents of the nearby St. James community were really opposed to a potential noise from the subway train, so it's covered. And now we're making our way south of Bloor Street, at least for this one station. Most of the Line 2 stations were built north of Bloor Street and Danforth Avenue, but it's only Sherburne and Kipling that were built south of that, respectively. And Sherburne, of course, has a similar feel with Dundas West Station.
The next station is Dum Station.
Of course, this is the busiest subway station in the city. We can transfer to the Young side, Line 1. Station sees tens of thousands of passengers daily, and it is slated to undergo a capacity and expansion upgrade over the next several years. What happens is that they're going to build a new Line 2 platform for eastbound trains while keeping the westbound platform intact. Now, given that it's around 2 p.m., it's not that busy, but at rush hour, it definitely sees a lot more than that. And unfortunately, we're slowing down.
The next station is Bay Station.
So I want you guys to look carefully here. See this track that branches off? I don't think you guys will be able to see clearly, but that, we'll see in a little bit here. Yeah, that's Lower Bay. I'm sure nobody was able to catch that like I did, but it's a bit of a long story to explain it. But this line actually interlined with the original Young University line for about the first 6 months of operation of the Bloor-Danforth subway, but it was proved to be unpopular and very confusing, and so they just eliminated the whole thing altogether, while the Lower Bay station remains abandoned, but used for other purposes as well. And this station serves the Yorkville neighborhood. Of course, where the subway was built, Yorkville was a hippie cultural neighborhood. Of course, that all changed when this station was built.
The next station is St. George Station.
And of course, at St. George, you can connect to the other side of Line 1. But the Line 1 platform is just directly right above the Line 2 platforms itself. And this is the second busiest station in the system as well.
Arriving at St. George Station.
You can hear the Line 1 trains above us.
The next station is Spadina Station.
It's also an interchange station with Line 1, however you have to utilize an underground tunnel to get to Line 1.
Arriving at Spadina Station.
Now this station uses a beige tiling with a black trim above it. That's not really, I don't think that's even seen elsewhere on the line, so I guess it's like one of the other unique stations that don't use the same repetitive stuff.
Next station is Bathurst Station. Arriving at Bathurst Station. The next station is Crispy Station. Arriving at Crispy Station.
Fun fact, this station suffered a fire sometime in the 1970s. So one of the trims were replaced. I'm just not sure what color that was.
Station. Arriving at Ossington Station. The next station is Dufferin Station. Dufferin Station.
So just like Pape, this station was also renovated, but in 2014 it used to have turquoise green walls and also a black trim. But this looks way funkier than this is actually one of the more funkier stations too, because of the different tiles. Alright, 3 more stations to go.
The next station is Lansdowne Station. Arriving at Lansdowne Station. The next station is Dundas West Station. Dundas West Station.
And here you can connect to the Up Express train to Pearson Airport, as well as the Kitchener GO train line. Alright, so before we get off at the next station, we're going to be going overground. I'm going to show you guys the old Vincent subway yards on the left, which was defunct for a while until it was reactivated in the late 2010s and is now used to store trains during the weekdays. So you might see a few of them. Let's see if we will. Nope, I was wrong.
Arriving at Keele Station.
Whoa, school must be dismissed already. And here we are. We rode the entirety of the original Line 2 subway. As we made it from the east to the west end of the city. Let's get another thumbnail here. Yep. When I edited the video, I gotta see how long that actually took, but it was definitely faster. Alright, so before we wrap up the video here, so again, Keele was the original western terminus of the line. And very similar to Woodbine Station, they had streetcars, I think going all the way to Jane Street. And that was until the line was extended in 1968, which eliminated the streetcar operations. However, I think over there's a sealed wall which had like a moving ramp to the temporary streetcar platform, and it's of course been walled off after the line was extended. But yeah, that's your history. Actually, I thought I wasn't going to speak in the video, but there's a lot of relevant information about this line that I really had to discuss, including Lower Bay and again the designs of the design of the stations. And yeah, it's a pretty cool line. I know a lot of people love to make fun of it because, many people call the Bloor-Danforth line the ghetto line because, again, the stations are a little bit outdated. And the trains themselves, even though they're like 30 years old. Yeah, guys, that's it. So thank you very much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Stay tuned for more videos, and check out my others as well. I'll see you all in the next one. Take care and peace out. Bye bye.